This is 10 video game storylines in 30 minutes. We've got Mario, Mortal Kombat, Metal Gear, Halo, Sonic. We've got Fallout, Tomb Raider, Rainbow Six, Zelda, and Five Nights at Freddy's. Let's do this! Everything here is completely accurate according to Nintendo's intention. Let's begin. Mario Bros were not conceived. A stork carries them across the sea for quick parental delivery. Luigi is kidnapped as Mario plummets to the sea. He lands on friendly shoulders. The Yoshi clan's heroism reunites the twins, defeats a monstrous baby turtle thing, and helps return the Mario Bros back to the parents in Brooklyn, where they grow up. We know nothing about the next 20 to 30 years, which are clouded in mystery. The next thing we do know, however, is that Mario is a totally washed up construction worker who's going by the name Jumpman. Obviously, Mario here has some kind of superhero wannabe obsession going on. Mario's girlfriend gets kidnapped by an ape, so he rescues her and receives his first taste of heroism. So he cages the ape as a trophy so he'll always remember. As DK Jr. tries to rescue his papa, Mario attempts to drown the baby ape. What the hell is wrong with you, Mario? The next few years are rough on Mario. His girlfriend ditches him because he can't keep a job. Luigi helps him get a plumbing job cleaning animals from the sewers of New York City. Mario doesn't seem to have lasted very long because 6 months later he's already working a temporary gig at a cement factory. Then he joins the military for bomb disposal ordnance. He tries out refereeing for tennis matches, professional golf, and even the circus. Luigi helps him join a wrecking crew, but Mario seems to have pissed off the boss. Apparently, Mario was a total loser until the Mushroom Kingdom discovers him. We're not quite sure how it happened, but somehow Mario and Luigi find themselves in a magical world of warp pipes, dinosaurs, power-ups, talking animals, flying objects, advanced technology, and all kinds of crazy shit like that. The Mushroom People ask them to save Princess Peach from Bowser, an evil sorcerer king of the Koopa race. Sadly, however, the Mushroom People didn't actually tell them where to go. They eventually find her, but when she finds out Mario doesn't have a decent job, it starts a long repetitive history of Mario returning to the kingdom to play the hero, and then going back to real life to suck at everything. He was a boxing referee, a driver in a Formula 1 Grand Prix, a yarn sweater designer, even a professional juggler. Now, he did land a very impressive job as a doctor, but he probably lied about his credentials. Meanwhile, the princess keeps getting captured over and over and over again, and Mario, who is the man, keeps saving the day. Just to go back and fail at being a preschool teacher and doing motocross and art. Bowser eventually sees the uselessness of his endeavors and eventually stops all of his evil plans. This created quite the predicament though, because now Mario could no longer be the hero. So to turn things around, Mario brings sports to the Mushroom Kingdom. He brings them tennis, golf, soccer, go-kart racing, basketball, baseball, pinball, the Olympics. Everybody was allowed to participate, even Bowser, but Mario dominated everything. And every time he would win, he would throw this huge-ass Mario Party with tons of minigames. Now, we had a tough time placing Mario Bros. 2 in the storyline. We believe this game fits at the end. The final scene of the game is Mario sleeping, revealing that everything was a dream. Maybe the whole Mushroom Kingdom is just a dream, and maybe Mario is just a bum who can't keep a job in the real world and can't come out from under his brother's shadow. And what was with trying to kill a baby ape? This is the story of the entire Mortal Kombat franchise in 3 minutes. Let's begin. The Mortal Kombat universe is made of 6 realms. The important ones are Earth Realm. That's where we live now, protected by Raiden. He's a thunder god, just not the popular one. The Nether Realm is a fiery hell ruled by Quan Chi, and he's a real ass. Outworld is a post-apocalyptic war zone ruled by Shao Kahn, another total ass. Alright, so what do you do if you want to conquer, like, an entire realm? Well, duh, you win 10 consecutive tournaments of Mortal Kombat. Don't think, thinking just gets in the way. Earthrealm is just about to be conquered by Outworld in the 10th tournament. Earth is pretty much fucked if this happens, but Raiden and 6 plucky fighters enter the tournaments to save us all. Fighting for us, we have Johnny Cage, Mr. Sexy, Sonya Blade, Kano, think Mad Max, Scorpion, the name says it all, I promise, Sub-Zero, the ice-firing palette-swapped Scorpion, and Liu Kang. Everything's looking just peachy until Scorpion kills Sub-Zero because we really needed a plot twist, and then Khan. He changes the rules so he gets to fight the last battle. Why, you might ask? Well, if you run a realm, you get to do that kind of shit too. STF. Liu Kang wins. Was there really any doubt? So a pissed Shao sets up another tournament on his home turf. Long story short, Liu Kang wins again. And a lot of hearts and spines are ripped out and heads chopped off, blood everywhere, you know the drill. Now Khan just gets really fed up with the whole tournament thing. I mean, who blames him? I mean, they are pretty ridiculous. So he decides that he wants to invade Earthrealm without the tournament, and thus merge the realms and, try to kill a bunch of people and all that. So Raiden summons a whole bunch of new fighters to defend Earth and increase the body count. Hundreds of decapitated bodies later, we find out that Liu Kang is just gonna beat the crap out of him again. Really don't know why we're not sending him the first time. So they win, our Guardians of the Earth celebrate, then Sonya goes ape shit, and Johnny Cage dies. for now. And then the evil elder god lord, Chinook or something, shows up and teams up with Quan Chi, and they're like, fuck your rules, we're gonna conquer the realm and kill shit. The elder gods were like, ah, damn, hurry up and revive Johnny Cage so he can, never mind, Liu Kang saved us all. At this point, don't pay any attention to the dead bodies, they won't be there for long, and hopefully you'll ignore the plot too. So you gotta be thinking, Christ, this is a soup sandwich we got on our hands. We have gods, ninjas, cyborgs, monsters, zombies, half-dragon things, whatever this thing is. So to fix everything, the developer, the elder gods, enact an ancient rule. The first to climb this tower and defeat this dude, they'll get unconditional power. So then everyone is brought back to life so they can spectacularly kill each other. And at the end, only Shao Kahn and Raiden are left living. Raiden sends a magic message back to himself through time to the beginning of our story. Raiden tried to decipher the message so that they could do better the second time around, but they fucked it up even more. Most of the Earthrealm heroes end up dead again, or turned evil by Quan Chi. Good going, Raiden. But at least he was able to defeat Shao Kahn, and now he vows to rebuild Earthrealm. The plot here is like nipples on a man. It doesn't matter. The only purpose of the plot is to give a creative reason to rip body parts out of bodies. The Metal Gear franchise in 3 minutes, let's begin. The year's 1920, the most powerful men in the world from America, China, and Russia band together to form a secret organization known as the Philosophers. They die. During World War II, the Philosophers pull $100 billion in a secret fund to ensure the defeat of the Axis. It's stolen. Colonel Vogan, a disgruntled Soviet revolutionary bent on overthrowing Gorbachev, inherits the Philosophers' money. Yay. Vogan begins construction of the Shagohod, a tank capable of delivering a nuclear payload anywhere in the world. Hell yeah. Big Boss, aka Naked Snake, aka Jack, aka John, is sent in to rescue the scientist responsible for constructing the Shagohod. He fails. Angry, Big Boss goes to this manufacturing plant to build boxes big enough a human can fit inside. This is just a box. No, seriously, it's just a box. See, I told you. Big Boss is sent once more to destroy the Shagohod, rescue the scientist, and kill the boss. Simple enough. He succeeds in destroying the Shagohod and killing the boss. Played like a damn fiddle. Traumatized by having to kill his American government, he wandered the globe as a murder hobo. Big Boss is eventually kidnapped by a man named Gene, who believes he is the ultimate warrior. After Big Boss beats the shit out of him, Gene gives him the funds he's amassed. Big Boss returns to America as the leader of Foxhound. Solid Snake and Liquid Snake are cloned by Colonel Zero with Big Boss's DNA, without his permission. That's rude. Big Boss leaves again to form Militaris Sans Frontières, French for Army Without Borders. Big Boss destroys America's AI project and successfully saves the world from nuclear annihilation. Coma. Kept you waiting, huh? Big Boss awakens from his 9-year coma, but a little bit crazy. Big Boss returns to the US to command Foxhound once again, but it's only a front to keep his new mercenary organization, Outer Heaven, hidden. Outer Heaven is then discovered. Big Boss sends Solid Snake on a suicide mission to Outer Heaven, but Snake succeeds. He also managed to avoid drowning. Liquid Snake stages a coup and captures a secret nuclear weapons facility. Snake indirectly kills Liquid. Wait, go back. What was that? A surveillance camera? Secret Solid Snake attempts to take over a secret Metal Gear in a secret coup. He is oh so secretly thwarted by Snake and this guy. And then Liquid's arm somehow possesses Revolver Ocelot and what? And makes Ocelot take over the world with an undefeatable AI system that controls every major army on the planet. So I guess Snake wins. This is the Halo chronology in 3 minutes. Let's begin. A really long time ago, the precursors, who are pretty much gods, create all life to enrich the galaxy and guide the cosmos through evolution. They want to pass on their divine responsibility to another race, and the Forerunners currently are the best choice. Many years later, the decision is redacted and the humans are chosen to accept this responsibility instead, and the humans flourish as the new successors of the precursors. The Forerunners, enraged about the change in position, however, turn against the precursors and destroy them, despite the precursors having vastly superior technology. chronology. The slaughter is actually driven to the point of near genocide, but some precursors survive and convert their bodies into special dust to regenerate themselves back to their former selves sometime in the future. But eons later, that dust malfunctions and becomes a biological parasite, the Flood. Humans are infected and the outbreak begins. They fight the Flood by glassing their own infected planets. Worlds are completely destroyed, forcing the humans to retreat to Forerunner territory, sparking the Human Forerunner War. The humans are forced to fight on two fronts at once, the Forerunners on one side and the Flood on the other. They're able to fend off the Flood, but the Forerunners annihilate the humans, destroying tens of thousands of their planets and banishing them to Earth. But then the Flood returns in full force and jeopardizes Forerunner worlds. So the Forerunners construct Halo rings, capable of eradicating all sentient life within an enormous radius to cut off the Flood's food supply, stopping their infection thereafter. They also save DNA samples of all different life forms so that life can resume after a Halo ring activation. The Forerunner Flood War continues until the Flood engulfs everything. The Halo rings are activated. Everything dies. The collected life form DNA is reactivated, it's released, and it flourishes throughout the galaxy. Thousands of years later, two alien species, the Sanchium and the Sangi Li, find leftover Forerunner and Precursor technology. They form an alliance, the Covenant, worshipping the Forerunners as gods and their technology as relics. Prophets serve as leaders, elites as warrior servants, and other species are recruited as well. They find the Halo rings, but they completely misunderstand the purpose. They believe the rings will bring them salvation, when in reality, obviously, they just kill everything. And then they discover humanity. The prophets find out that the humans are actually directly related to the Forerunners, and so they reason, oh man, if these elites find out, it'd mean that Forerunners are actually not gods, but they're just really old aliens. And so their religion would fall apart and the prophets would lose power. So in order to cover this up, the prophets declare war against humanity as a threat against the Covenant's quest. Their attack begins the Human Covenant War. And over time, the elites begin to figure it out anyways. The prophets are a bunch of fucking liars, so they team up with the brutes instead. So they team up with the humans, destroy the Covenant, kill the prophets, activate a partially finished Halo ring, which by the way destroys a shit ton of Forerunner technology, and eradicate the remainder of the Flood infection. The war ends and the elites and humans go on to reconstruct their homes. This is the 100% official chronology of all the Sonic games. Not the comic books or cartoons, because those are not canon. They contradict the games, and they don't even take place on the same planet. Let's begin. Modern day Earth is destroyed. 30-ish million years later, animals evolve intelligence and unusual abilities. Plate tectonics reshape the planet. Humans team up with animals to rebuild civilization, reconstruct mythological cities, and better technology. The world is governed by a few small nations and a huge militaristic one, the United Federation. Dr. Gerald Robotnik, a geneticist, is enlisted by the United Federation to secretly create the ultimate life form aboard the space colony Ark. Instead, he makes first contact with an alien race, the Black Arms, and makes a secret trade, alien DNA for Chaos Emeralds. But he didn't really have them though, because they're hidden somewhere, so they give him 50 years to find them. After Gerald creates Shadow, the United Federation shuts down the Ark, killing and quieting all who knew their secret, including Gerald's daughter Maria. Gerald is imprisoned before he can enact his revenge against the government. 45 years later, Dr. Ivo Robotnik, a roboticist, and Gerald's grandson, plots to usher in Utopia by building a robot army and a space station, the Death Egg, powered by Chaos Emeralds, that he doesn't have yet, because they're still hidden somewhere. He discovers they're on South Island, so he conquers the island and enslaves the animals into robot hybrids to assist his search for the emeralds. South Island, of course, is the home of Sonic the Hedgehog, who races to find and safeguard the emeralds, save animals, defeat Eggman, and flee to Westside Island. Eggman offers a trade, the kidnapped inhabitants of South Island for the emeralds, but Sonic refuses. Eggman invades, grabs the emeralds, and powers the Death Egg. Sonic saves more animals, reclaims the emeralds, and powers down the Death Egg. Eggman crash lands on Angel Island, which orbits the Earth to protect the primordial Master Emerald. Yeah. Eggman convinces Knuckles that Sonic is an emerald thief. Knuckles attacks, stealing Chaos Emeralds, allowing Eggman to relaunch the Death Egg and steal the Master Emerald. Sonic destroys the Death Egg and reclaims the Chaos Emeralds. With the Master Emerald in hand, Eggman discovers an ancient legend and shatters it, unleashing the Chaos Monster. They travel the world stealing Chaos Emeralds for more power, but Chaos turned on Eggman because Eggman wouldn't let him destroy the world. Sonic wins, Eggman escapes. Eggman then learns of the ultimate life form from his grandfather's diary. He infiltrates the research facility and awakens Shadow, who agrees to steal the Chaos Emeralds and rendezvous at Space Colony Ark. Once there, Shadow reveals Grandpa's world-destroying cannon. Eggman blows up half the moon, a demonstration he's holding the world ransom so he can establish his utopia by force. Shadow initiates the Ark Collision Course with Earth program, a part of Gerald's unfulfilled revenge plot against the United Federation. Realizing his mistake, however, he helps Sonic save the planet. Eggman 2. The Black Arm aliens finally return for their Chaos Emeralds from Gerald, but he's dead, so they invade the Earth to find them, creating the perfect opportunity for Eggman to grab them, and Shadow, and Sonic to try to, and together they exterminate the alien threat with Grandpa's Eclipse cannon. This is the story of Fallout in 3 minutes. Let's begin. In the 1950s, all cultural progress in the US stops for no reason. Technological progress slows. There are no circuit boards or semiconductors. Everything looks like a CRT. The demand for fossil fuels multiplies beyond 20 to 30 times what we have in our world today. I forgot to do the math! I always forget to do the— 1 century later, fossil fuels are scarce. Oil prices rise and industrial nations are desperate, leading to vicious international conflict. 2066, the Resource War. China invades Alaska for the world's last remaining fossil fuels because it's really easy to invade the United States. The US counterattack succeeds by the power of the American infantry with power armor. China retreats Alaska. The Resource War ends. The Great War is about to begin. To prepare, the US builds large secret nuclear shelters, originally a conspiracy for human experimentation, but happened to be finished just in time for international nuclear war. More destruction in 2 hours than any period of human history. The US selects individuals to survive the Holocaust. The vaults are sealed, the bombs fall, the world dies. And nobody leaves the life-sustaining vaults for 200 years underground. On the surface, a race of strange mutants set out to take over the planet and threaten the peaceful life of those below. An ambiguous vault dweller emerges and stops the mutant threat. When he attempts to go home, he is denied entry because his exposure to the outside world is a threat to those in the vault. In grief and anger, he leaves and establishes his settlement in the wasteland. He dies. His civilization flourishes for a generation until everything starts dying. They choose a hero from among them to find the Garden of Eden creation kit, which will sustain them. He leaves, and the US government, now the Enclave, sweeps in and kidnaps the settlement and Vault 13 and brings them to their oil rig where they manufacture a virus which kills pretty much everything mutated by radiation, which is everyone except for themselves. The chosen one finds the Gek, goes to the oil rig, kills everyone, destroys the virus, blows up the oil rig, and saves everyone except for the Enclave. They escape and create a super awesome society, yeah. Years later, on the other side of the US, a team of engineers build a facility to purify extremely large amounts of water. One of the members of this team, James, a mastermind engineer, doctor, and scientist, has a child, and to protect him from the wasteland lifestyle, retreats him to Vault 101. 19 years later, James leaves the vault to seek another Eden device to complete Project Purity. His kid, now known as the Lone Wanderer, goes out to search for his father, finds him trapped in a vault, and rescues him. With the Gek in hand, they reunite the engineers of Project Purity. But the Enclave attacks and takes them hostage so they can complete the project themselves in order to release the virus. In James' dying breath, he saves most of the team, including his son. That son gathers militants in order to, through brute force, take back the facility. They charge in there, take the victory, and reactivate the facility. And the Lone Wanderer dies. Wait, no he doesn't. Wait, hey, does he die? I don't know! What the fuck? What do you mean you don't know? Oh, dang it, I can't handle this shit, I'm out of here. This is the chronology of Tomb Raider in 3 minutes, let's begin. At the dawn of time, a huge meteor strikes Antarctica, becoming the first magical relic on Earth. 8054 BCE, Atlantis is founded and ruled by a triumvirate. Natla begins mutating Atlanteans into a monstrous army using a weapon called the Scion. Her brothers find out, arrest her, and imprison her in present-day New Mexico. Atlantis is destroyed, so they set off to start a new civilization. Qualapec in Peru fathers the Inca race, dies, and is buried. 5022 BCE, the Egyptian god Set is imprisoned in a tomb. 2900 BCE, the Emperor of China uses the dagger of Xian, transforms himself into a dragon, and is defeated in battle by a monk. 1300 CE, a portal between the Norse world and Earth is created and used by King Arthur's Knights of the Round Table. Archaeological tip 101, portals are found at Stone Diocese. 1953, a nuclear explosion test in New Mexico goes wrong and awakens Natla, and she starts her own popular tech company, yeah. That way she could secretly search for the lost Scion pieces. Now obviously there are a lot of relics here that are going undiscovered and remain scattered, and nobody can find them, well, until Lara Croft happens. As a child, her parents introduce her to archaeological adventures. On one of those trips, at just 9 years old, Lara and her mother travel to the Himalayas. Their plane crashes, they survive, continue their quest, and find a stone dais. Lara touches the sword, igniting a portal which captures her mother. Lara's lifelong passion for treasure hunting is actually driven by her endeavor to possibly save her mom. At age 16, her father disappears in Cambodia while looking for the iris. She goes to look for him with her mentor, he falls into a trap, and Lara is forced to abandon him, leaving him for dead. 1995, Lara shipwrecks on the lost kingdom of Yamati. 1996, Natla hires Lara to find the Scion pieces. She rediscovers Qualopec's tomb and the Scion pieces. Natla steals them from Lara. Lara kills Natla and saves the world. 1997, Lara finds the dagger of Zayan. 1998, RX Tech, a mining company, goes to Antarctica to find the meteor that ancient Polynesians worship. They discover its powers and kind of plot to mutate mankind. Lara stops them. 1999, Lara releases the Egyptian god Set by accident. Her mentor mysteriously returns to maybe help her. Lara recaptures Set in a different tomb in Giza, but her mentor abandons her, locking her into a tomb with Set. Her family and friends assume she's dead and hold a funeral in her honor. Lara somehow saves herself and accuses her mentor of abandoning her. And then he's just killed, and Lara gets framed for his murder. But she finds the killer and works it out. 2006, Lara activates a stone dais portal with Excalibur and confirms her mother is still alive in Avalon. Lara finally finds a traversable portal in a temple under the Mediterranean Sea. She travels through and enters the Norse underworld, making her way to Helheim. And she discovers her mother has been turned into a zombie-like thrall. Lara is sadly forced to kill her to save herself. This is the Rainbow Six chronology from the video games. In 3 minutes, let's begin. World War II. The Nazis steal massive amounts of wealth during the Holocaust. Russia defeats Germany, and amidst the chaos, 2 Nazis hide the stolen treasures. In 1991, the Soviet Union collapses. Their economy is devastated as fighting and terrorism surge. The Mafia secretly buys military equipment from the Russian army. During one of these arms trade transactions, Rainbow Six, a team of highly trained anti-terrorists, storm one of the deals. They discover the Russian Mafia is supplying the weapons to small terrorist organizations to fuel further disorder in the country. Rainbow Six tracks and pursues the leaders of the faction that are distributing the nuclear weapons to the terrorist organizations. They raid the faction, prevent nuclear disaster, successfully attack and kill everyone responsible. The success of the mission establishes Rainbow Six as an internationally recognized global counterterrorism unit supported by NATO territories and composed of a multicultural team from those countries, inaugurated to face the growing issues of international terrorism head-on. They respond and deploy to numerous seemingly randomized terrorist events across the globe. But, as we'll soon find out, random acts of terror are always funded and planned by massive secret organizations. There's always a connection, I'll explain. 1999, John Breitling, the head of a biotech company called Horizon, now heads Rainbow Six. Breitling secretly uses Horizon to develop a virus to wipe out every single human being on the planet except for those he deems worthy to protect the Earth from humans' destructive ways. He tries to release the virus at the Olympic Games so that it spreads to multiple countries, but Rainbow Six stops his plans, kills his associates, and puts him in prison. 2005, Nikola Gospich, one of the Nazi soldiers from earlier who took all that treasure back in 1945, is now using his wealth in an attempt to start a global fascist takeover. His plan? Just to kill a shit ton of people with chemical weapons and cause an economic crisis so oil prices go down, then use that super cheap oil to invade everyone and start a neo-fascist world. Gospich's plans are foiled by Rainbow Six, he's killed, and his partner, you know that other Nazi who stole that treasure, he's captured. 2009, a group of anarchists known as the Global Liberation Front develops a nanotech virus with a 100% mortality rate. Rainbow Six travels the world eliminating different factions of Global Liberation Front until the leader of the movement is killed in a final battle. A year later, Rainbow Six responds to a series of terrorist attacks in Las Vegas led by a terrorist ringleader, Irina Morales, an expert at smuggling terrorists into countries all around the world, that then go do terrorist things in those countries. But Rainbow Six stops one of those attacks on Las Vegas, where Irina Morales is found, and they kill her. However, one Rainbow Six team member, Gabriel Nowak, betrays them and escapes. He tries to do almost the exact same thing as Irina, but it ends almost the exact same way. And then, despite the huge success of the Rainbow program, Rainbow Six is deactivated. And then many years later, it's reactivated again. We're not exactly sure why it was deactivated. This is the Legend of Zelda chronology in 3 minutes. Let's begin. In the beginning, 3 goddesses create the physical world, the spiritual sacred realm, and the Triforce, which is an extension of their power. The Triforce is entrusted to Hylia, the protector of the physical realm. Demise, a demon king, gathers a big army to take the Triforce. Many are slaughtered, so Hylia rescues the remaining humans, sending them into the heavens. She creates the goddess sword to defeat Demise and seals him under the ground beneath the earth. Hundreds of years later, maybe thousands, the sky people live at peace. Until Girahim, a demon lord, captures Zelda, a young lady who is also now the human incarnate of Hylia. He uses her inherent power to resurrect Demise. Link, the chosen hero of Hylia, sets out to find and rescue her. He retrieves the goddess sword, tempers it into the master sword, and defeats Demise, and everything's pretty much cool until in his dying breath he promises his hatred will be recast on and on until the end of time. The people descended from the heavens and established the kingdom of Hyrule upon the ground. Peace mostly resides over the land, but occasional violent wars are fought by people trying to take the Triforce for their greedy selves. To stop the fighting, the king seals the Triforce in the sacred realm through the Temple of Time. And the goddesses create the Twilight Realm, a place of banishment and punishment for those who forcefully invade the sacred realm. A huge war breaks out that lasts a considerable amount of time, known as the Hylian War. Now, sometime after that war, an evil man known as Ganondorf, a thief from the desert, plans to obtain the Triforce and spread evil across the world. Zelda and Link plot to obtain the Triforce before Ganondorf does, but they're too late. Ganondorf manages to obtain one of the 3 pieces of the Triforce of Power. He uses it to conquer the land and kidnap Zelda. Link rescues Zelda and then confronts Ganondorf. Now, this Link uses the power of the Ocarina to travel back and forth from his adulthood to his childhood in order to outplay Ganondorf, but in doing this he kind of creates a rift in time and splits the chronology in 3 different directions. First, Link defeats Ganon and saves Hyrule, but the 7 sages were unable to kill Ganondorf, so they seal him beneath the earth. Hundreds or thousands of years later, he returns to Hyrule and in revenge floods the land. This timeline is characterized as a people without a Hyrule embarking on travels to find new territories. Chronology 2. After defeating Ganon, Zelda sends Link back to his childhood to undo all the evil Ganon had done before he does it. Child Zelda and Link expose Ganondorf, so Hyrule holds him trial, but were unable to kill him, so they seal him in the Twilight Realm. There, his presence leads to political instability as he begins to break the walls between the realms. This timeline is characterized as a war between the Shadow Twilight and the physical realm. And in the 3rd Rift of Time, Link is killed. Ganondorf obtains the full Triforce. However, the 7 sages pray to the goddesses and they seal Ganon and the Triforce into the Sacred Realm, which he transforms into the Dark World, where Ganon continually tries to re-emerge and revive with an army. This timeline is characterized as a war between the Dark World and the regular world. This is the 5 Nights at Freddy's chronology in 3 minutes. Let's begin. In the mid-1970s, a small country restaurant, Fredbear's Family Diner, becomes a local hit with parents and children alike. While adults enjoy the food, children of the small town become infatuated with Freddy Fazbear, an animatronic teddy bear that walks around the restaurant serving patrons food. The diner sparks in popularity, but also attracts a serial killer known only as the Purple Guy. The Purple Guy lures a child away from his family and murders him outside the diner. The Purple Guy gets away and disappears for years without a trace. Fredbear's Family Diner sadly can't escape the bad publicity and is forced to shut down its local operations. The creators of Fazbear's, however, become the owners of the media conglomerate Fazbear's Entertainment. They totally refuse to give up on their once lucrative idea and create a chain of restaurants known as Freddy's Fazbear's Pizza. In addition to the chain of restaurants spreading across the country, the restaurant also creates more animatronics in an attempt to attract the demographic that made them popular in the first place: children. With this rebranding, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza once again rises in popularity. 2 employees are killed by animatronic suits that malfunction. The Fazbear Pizza chain barely recovers from the bad press of the tragedy. Then, the Purple Guy returns, murders 5 children in a pizzeria, and stuffs their bodies inside the animatronic suits. A suspect in the killings is arrested by the local authorities. The bodies of the children are never The bodies of the children are never recovered, but bodily fluids begin to leak out of the robot suits the children's bodies were stuffed in, and the location soon shuts down for health violations. Years later, at another location, an animatronic bites a boy at his birthday party, causing permanent brain damage. The restaurant is temporarily shut down for an investigation and then reopened. Purple Guy returns, believing that the now infamous bite of 87 means the spirits of his past victims are now haunting the animatronic suits. In an attempt to dismantle them after hours, he is suddenly attacked by their angry souls and trapped in a back room. He tries hiding in a spring-locked suit, but it malfunctions and crushes him to death. Once again, the restaurant chain shuts down. Years later, an entrepreneur reopens Freddy's as Fazbear's Fright, a horror theme park attraction, complete with the animatronic used in the Purple Guy's death. The security guard in charge of managing the attraction at night, however, soon finds his own life in danger because of the possessed animatronics, and the nightmare only ends after the attraction becomes the victim of faulty wiring and subsequently burns to the ground. You know what? That's it. I'm done. I can't handle this shit. You guys don't care about the story? Get out of here. Get out of here. Bonnie, no. No! Holy cow, it's good that we have these rolling so quickly now. Just looking at the schedules upcoming soon, we have Black Ops, Metroid, Smash Bros, Hitman, Resident Evil, Donkey Kong, Uncharted. Subscribe to ArcadeCloud for all of these.